Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today I'm back in Grand Theft Auto Online and we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid in this update week in GTA Online. This update week is a little bit mid, to be honest. There's not a whole lot going on that's super great, but we do have some discounts and stuff like that, so yeah. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you don't, consider subscribing if you're new, and let's go ahead and get started with the weekly challenge this week, which is going to be to complete 3 dispatch work missions, and for doing this you'll receive $100,000 and the LSPD summer outfit, which is pretty cool. I think it looks like basically a regular cop uniform with short sleeves, so not bad, I guess. To correspond with this, we also have dispatch work on double money and double RP this week, so it's going to be paying $50,000 upon completing the mission, which is about a 5-minute mission, so it's not terrible. It could be worse, but it could be better as well. We also have double money and double RP on wildlife photography for those of you that have access to it on your platforms. We have the Vespucci Job remix, all on double money and double RP for the remainder of this week as well. These are pretty fun, so I would recommend trying them out. And last but not least, we have double money and double RP on the Community Combat series. I wish we had more double money stuff, but that's where it ends. Starting off for vehicle discounts on Legendary, we have the Benefactor SM722 discounted by 30% off this week. The SM722 is a pretty cool car. It's based off the Sterling Moss Special Edition Mercedes SLR that Mercedes-Benz made back in the early 2010s or the late 2000s. It's a pretty cool car. It looks kind of neat. The customization is okay. Overall performance isn't that awesome, and I feel like for 1.5 mil you could do a lot better performance wise. However, if you do want a cool open top, vehicle like this, it is pretty much the only one of its kind in the entire game without any sort of like a cage and stuff like that. The only other ones that really come to mind are the Ocelot Locust and the Hijack Rustin. So if you're in the market for one of these, it is available on discount, but honestly I feel like it's too expensive personally, so I would say for most people to avoid it. Scrolling a little bit further under the two-door section, we have the Pagasi Zaruso for $1,347,500, again 30% off. The Zaruso's performance is kind of god-awful for what you're paying for it, and customization-wise there's not much that can be done. Plus, I think it's kind of an ugly car, to be honest, so unless you explicitly really like the Zaruso, I would say for most people you can avoid it. It's too expensive, and it's not that awesome looking of a car or that awesome performing of a car either, so I'd say most people can avoid it. We also have the Grotti Turismo Classic for under $500,000, and this thing is able to be equipped with HSW upgrades, which is pretty cool. And with HSW, it's actually the fastest sports classic car in the entire game as far as circuit racing goes, and top speed wise as well. It's really fun to drive. This is actually my favorite HSW car in the game to just purely drive around for fun. It's insanely fun to drive. Customization's okay for it as well. With HSW applied to it, you also get a little bit of additional customization, which is quite cool. Overall, for under 500 grand, getting the #1 sports classic car in the game for circuit racing in sports classic races, whether you have HSW or non-HSW, this thing will dominate the category, so I would highly recommend purchasing it while it's on sale. Over on Warstock Cash and Carry, we have the police bike 15% off this week. I would say unless you want the outfit specifically that you get for purchasing this, you can kind of avoid it. It does have a speed glitch, which is kind of cool, but there's plenty of bikes with speed glitches, so it's really not that fascinating or anything like that. And even with the speed glitch, it's not even one of the better ones. It kind of tops out around 150 miles per hour, and for $4.2 million, if you don't have the trade price, it's kind of a lot of money to ask for. And even if you do have the trade price, I mean, it's definitely more worth it with the trade price, but I would say honestly you can just avoid the police bike this week. This thing is 25% off this week, which is actually a fairly decent discount. $4.2 million or almost $2 million if you have the trade price for it. The D10 Pursuit is by far the fastest cop car in the game. It also has probably the most customization. It's arguably the best looking as well if you want something, faster and sleeker like this. So I would say if you're gonna purchase a cop car, you might as well make it the D10 this week. It is well worth its value comparatively to the other cop cars because it's just so much faster than all the rest of them. So if I had to have one cop car and one cop car only, I would make it the Cockhead D10 Pursuit. Me personally, that's what I recommend you to do as well. We also have the Willard Outreach Faction, which has always kind of been overpriced. It is kind of cool. It's got a little bit of customization. You can kind of turn it into a police drag racing vehicle to a degree, which is kind of sick. Overall, for 3.1 mil or 2.3 mil, I do feel like it is kind of overpriced, and I don't necessarily overly recommend it unless you're in the market for this particular version of a cop car. We also have the Vapid Caracara Pursuit as well as the Terminus Patrol. Either of them are kind of, you know, the better off-road police vehicles in the game. Out of the two of them, I would say the Terminus performs better overall, but I do think that the Caracara Pursuit might be slightly better in some aspects. It's less likely to like flip over its like lid if you're, you know, going off-road, whereas the Terminus with shorter wheelbase is more likely to do that. But pretty much every other way, the Terminus is better. So if you had to have one or the other, I'd say the Terminus is more useful, faster, just generally a little bit better to drive than the Caracara Pursuit. Doesn't mean the Caracara Pursuit's bad. If you want it instead of the Terminus, definitely get it. But these are by far your best off-road options as far as the police category vehicles go. And then of course we have the Impaler LX Cruiser, the Dominator FX Cruiser, the Dominator FX Interceptor, that is, the Greenwood Cruiser, the Dorado Cruiser, and the Impaler SZ Cruiser. Honestly, all of these you can pretty much avoid. The Dominator FX Interceptor out of these 5 is by far the best, but even still it pales in comparison to the D10 Pursuit. So I would just say avoid all of these vehicles. You do not really need any of them. They're all really slow. The customization is all basically the same on all of them, and they're worse performance-wise than the D10. So just avoid them if you can. Now scrolling a little bit further down, we have the Gauntlet Interceptor, which is the second best performing police variant of a vehicle in GTA Online. If you have the trade price for it, 2.6 mil is really not that much for what you're getting. I mean, it's like a ridiculous amount, don't get me wrong, but like comparatively to the other cop cars, it's a pretty good deal. And even 3.5 mil for the full price is not like excruciatingly awful comparatively to the other police cars. You're going to get a lot more bang for your buck out of the Gauntlet Interceptor, but overall I'd still probably just purchase the D10 Pursuit because it's faster, handles better, and arguably looks better as well. There's also the Declasse Park Ranger, which this week is giving you a special outfit, which is pretty cool. This thing will be kind of okay off-road, and it'll blend in the canyon with the other park rangers around. It is relatively cheap. It's actually one of the cheapest. I think it is technically the cheapest cop car available right now, for under 2 mil for the non-trade price and just under 1.5 mil for the trade price for it. This thing's pretty cool. Unfortunately, nothing in the way of customization other than colors. So if you want customization on your cop car, again, buy the Interceptor, the Gauntlet Interceptor that is, or the D10 Pursuit. Other than that, Caracara 4x4 Police Pursuit or the Terminus Patrol. Either of those are going to be your better option for off-roading. This thing's cool, but it doesn't justify the price. Unless, of course, you want that special outfit, which if you do, now is going to be the time to buy it. And then, of course, we have the last two, the Unmarked Cruiser and the Stanier LE Cruiser. The Unmarked Cruiser is probably the best value as far as cop cars go in GTA Online, as far as getting one for as cheap as humanly possible. But even still, I mean, 1,925,000. I guess technically the Granger is cheaper this week if you have the trade price. It's a cool car. It is a lot slower though than the LE Cruiser, which is its like direct competitor that also has markings and customization. So out of the two, I'd honestly recommend spending a little bit more and getting the Stanier LE Cruiser, but honestly just get the D10 Pursuit yet again because it's just so much better than all of them. But if you did want a 4-door, Stanier LE is cool, or just get the Granger, to be completely honest. It's a 4-door as well. So yeah, I don't know, I would say generally probably avoid these two as well. However, if we scroll a little bit further down, we also have the HVY Menacer for $1,242,500. Think of this thing as kind of a worse version of the Insurgent Pickup Custom. It can take less explosives, less bullets. It is much easier to shoot in because it is significantly closer to the ground. The Insurgent's armor is better overall, like as far as actually protecting the occupants from bullets, especially on the turret. Now, pros, it does get driver-controlled machine guns, but they are the same as the Night Sharks, which means they do effectively no damage, so that does kind of suck. It's also really low to the ground, so it's really not that good off-road, especially compared to the Insurgent Pickup Custom, for example. Overall, I feel like the Menacer's kind of cool, and I would only really recommend buying it if you already have an Insurgent Pickup Custom, and if that's the case, you really don't need a Menacer in the first place, but I would at least have the better option first before purchasing a Menacer. Overall, this thing is not that awesome. Customization wise, it does have quite a bit that can be done, but overall, I'd say you're probably just going to want to avoid it. 1,242,000 just isn't cheap enough, at least in my opinion. Here in the casino, we have the Anis Helion available to be won this week. Pretty cool vehicle, great off-roader, good customization. I'd recommend definitely trying to win it if you can. Probably one of the best things going on this week is the fact that you can get the Entity MT in the LS car meet right now, and the challenge to win it is to place top 4. So if you go into a race with one other person and you both, you can come second, you can come first, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can go in with 3 other friends and everybody will get the Entity MT, which is a $2,355,000 car. And you can also upgrade it with HSW as well after the fact to make it significantly faster. So I would absolutely highly recommend doing this. Everybody should be doing this week. It is a free $2.3 million supercar. Everybody needs to do it. And as far as the vehicles go in the LS car meet, we have the Pegassi Vodka for $240,000. We have the Western Damon in here for $145,000, and the Ocelot Lynx, which is unfortunately extremely overpriced, so I don't recommend this one. However, the Vodka is removed, so if you do want it, now is going to be a good time to purchase it. And then there's the Western Damon, which I honestly don't really have an opinion about. If you want it for $145K, if it seems like good value to you, I'd recommend testing it first, but if it seems good after that, why not? And the HSW test ride for the week is the Pfister Astron Custom, and if you want to purchase it, it's going to cost you $2,570,000, which seems expensive, but it's a pretty good SUV, I will give it that. So do with that what you will. And in a shocking turn of events, guys, we actually have a claimable vehicle in the salvage yard this week, which is the Enis Deity, which you should absolutely try to win. It's an Imani Tech capable vehicle. It's got bullet resistant windows, front mounted machine guns are optional, armor plating, and it's decently fast. You should definitely try to win it if you can. You're going to get it by completing, of course, the Gangbanger Robbery. Then we have the Karen Hot Ring Everon, which can be sold, and the Vapid Hustler, which can also be sold. You're going to get the Everon by completing the Duggan Robbery, and you're going to get the Vapid Hustler by completing the McToney Robbery. So you should definitely be doing these robberies this week, particularly for the Deity. The priority file within the Garment Factory this week is the Brute Force file, so it's paying double. Within Simeon's, we have the Enis Stafford as well as a few other vehicles, but we're going to start off with this one. Of course, it's going for $1 million, almost $1.3 million. Which is kind of crazy to think about. It's a cool car. It's got some okay customization and stuff like that, but overall for 1.3 I feel like it's too much money, so I would avoid it. We also have the Nagasaki Hot Rod Blazer here, which is going for 85 grand, which seems like a lot for what it is, but it is kind of cool. I have ridden one. It's decent. It's decent enough for sure. We also have the Grotti GT500, which I swear is like the new Karen Bohr. This shit has been in here like a million times. $806,000 if you want to purchase it. We also have the Vapid Blade for $160,000 if you do want to purchase that as well. It is a pretty cool car, so I do recommend it. And then the Coil Brawler, which has the worst brakes I've ever experienced in GTA Online, and then I'm going to go ahead and use that to tell you to probably avoid purchasing it. You might think it looks like an awesome off-roader as well and everything. It's rear-wheel drive, no all-wheel drive. It can't really climb for shit. So I'd say avoid the Coil Brawler. Over at Luxury Autos, we got 2 regular traffic-ass vehicles, the Anis Euros X32 and the Karen Astro GZ. The Euros X32 is a lot cooler, but neither of them are worth purchasing here. You can just get them on the websites, and they will be a little bit cheaper, unless of course you do want the special wheel colors, which I don't think either of them have, so never mind. Alright guys, and the gun van today is at the power station. It's right here on the map. If you're watching this the day that it comes out, it will be here, but if you're watching this in the future later in the week, it will not be here. However, the discounts will be the same, and those are of course going to be on the baseball bat. The baseball bat, guys, I can't believe it. It's free this week. I already own one, so I guess I don't get that discount. But the knife, stun gun, tactical SMG, we have the service carbine, which is also 40% off, by the way. So if you want one of these, it's 40% off. I would highly recommend it. It's a great weapon. And then of course we have the RPG and the assault rifle, as well as the knuckle dusters, which is cool. Throwables, we got proxies, stickies, grenades, and of course for body armor, I'm going to purchase it, and it is 30% off this week as well, so huge W there. Your RC Bandito time trial for today is Construction Site 1, your Junk Energy is of course Sewer System. Your HSW time trial is Pacific Bluffs to Mount Gordo, so it's going to start right here, and it's going to end all the way over here on the Lighthouse Road, right about there. And my final time trial is down Chiliad, which seems really hard and scary, and I don't think I'm probably going to do it, but it's right there if you want it. So anyway, guys, there you have it. That has been it for what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you learned something, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.